Hi friends, this is your Yoganandam, biology lecturer from Edall Academy YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to discuss one of the biology full test paper with detailed solutions. The biological definition of a species depends on Carolus Linnaeus from 1707 to 1778. A Swedish naturalist proposed a system to name and organize species, and he is considered the father of taxonomy and also father of modern botany. He proposed three groups: kingdoms, which are divided into classes. These classes are divided into orders, which are further divided into genera and then into species. That is otherwise called as epithet in case of plants. In biological classification, species is one of the basic taxonomic ranks that can be represented as the unit of biodiversity. So the answer for this question is option B. Reproductive isolation of two groups of organisms. The biological definition of a species depends on the reproductive isolation of two groups of organisms. Question number 3. During gene cloning, gene taxi is the term used for. In genetic engineering, a plasmid is used as vector for cloning the gene of interest. It carries a specific gene of interest to the cell. It is a small circular double-stranded DNA molecule in bacteria and known to carry genes that may benefit the survival of bacteria. Due to its ability to carry genes into cells of different kinds, it is called gene taxi. So the answer is option A, plasmid. Question number 4. A person suffering from disease caused by plasmodium experiences recurring chill and fever at the time when DAS is released. Plasmodium is a protozoan which causes malaria in the human. Plasmodium infects the human body as sporozoites, that means infectious form, through the bite of infected female Anopheles mosquito, which serve as vector for disease. Initially, the parasites reproduces asexually within the liver cells, leading to bursting the cells and then attack red blood cells, resulting in the rupture too. In malaria, chill and fever are due to the release of toxic substance which is called as hemozoin. So the answer is option C, hemozoin. Question number 5. In alpha thalassemia, so here there are three statements are given about alpha thalassemia as correct statement. Thalassemia is a recessive autosomal genetic defect originated in the Mediterranean region by mutation, deletion, or recessive autosomal transmission. Thalassemia are group of disorder caused by defects in the synthesis of globin polypeptide in RBC. In this case, the synthesis of one chain is in excess while other is absent or reduced. As a result, free insoluble globin chain start accumulating inside the blood cells and form precipitates which damage the cell, causing cell lysis and resulting in anemia. So the answer for this question is option C. Statement A and B are correctly given. A. Alpha globin chain is produced in less number, and C. Incorrectly functioning globin chain is synthesized. So about alpha thalassemia, A and B statements are correct. Question number 6. This structural gene synthesizes the mRNA that translates the permease protein. Lactobacillus is a group of genes required for uptake and metabolism of lactose. It is consists of single promoter and three structural genes such as Z gene, Y gene, and A gene. Z gene is responsible for the production of beta galactosidase. Y gene is responsible for permease production, which increase permeability of membrane and increase uptake of lactose. A gene is responsible for the production of trans-acetylase. So the answer for this question is option B, Y gene. Question number 8. Match the following. So here there are two columns are given. See the column 1 and the column 2. In the column 1, first given microorganisms are used for commercial and industrial production of chemicals like alcohol, enzyme and organic acids. Aspergillus niger, it is a kind of fungi is used to produce citric acid. So citric acid is given in the column 2. So Aspergillus niger, citric acid. Second one is Clostridium botulism. It is a kind of bacterium produce butyric acid. See the option second one B. Clostridium botulism. It is a kind of bacterium produce butyric acid. Third one Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Saccharomyces cerevisiae is a commonly used yeast which is known to be stable in baking and brewing industries. It's used baking and brewing industries. Example ethanol. Then cyclosporin A. Cyclosporin A is used an immunosuppressive agent in organ transplant patient is produced by fungus Trichoderma polysporum. So Trichoderma polysporum is matching with cyclosporin A. Then statins are produced Monoscus purpureus. E. Monoscus purpureus is matching with statins. So the correctly matching option is option B. Question number 9. Find the correct match regarding Miller's experiment. Experimental proof of the theory of chemical evolution was given by Urey and Miller in the year of 1953, who created primitive atmospheric condition in a laboratory by using electric discharge in closed flask containing methane, hydrogen, ammonia in the ratio of 2:1:2 ratio and water vapor at 800 degrees Celsius. This mixture was provided with energy for interaction by 75,000 volts sparks using tungsten electrodes. The gases were allowed to condense in narrow tube and pass through liquid flask. This experiment was set for several days and products were analyzed chemically. As a result, few amino acids and complex organic compounds were obtained. So this gives the experimental proof to the formation of first life form. So the answer is option C. Energy source, electric discharge. Question number 10. Genetic engineering has been successfully used for producing transgenic cow Rosie produced human protein enriched milk 2.4 gram per liter and the milk contained the human alpha lactalbumin. The first genetically modified monkey ANDI, a playful coffee colored rhesus monkey born on 2nd October 2000 has been modified to carry a gene from different species. The research shows that the foreign genes can be transmitted and incorporated into primitive chromosome. So the answer for this question is option C. Transgenic mice for testing the safety of polio vaccine before use in humans. So that is the correct option. Question number 13. Blanks with suitable options. Here there are 4 fill in the blanks are given. The first one. So we are saying the first question. Dash is a contraceptive method in which male partner withdraws penis from vagina just before ejaculation to avoid insemination. For that answer is the withdrawal method. The second option. Dash method work on the principle of avoiding chances of ovum and sperm meeting. For that question is natural method. See the third option. Dash is contraceptive method in which couples avoid coitus from day 10 to 17 of menstrual cycle. Answer for that question is periodic abstinence. Fourth one, lac are objects inserted in uterus of the female through vagina by doctors. So answer is IUDs, intrauterine devices. So the correctly matching option is option B. Question number 14. Go through the following points. Here there are 4 points are given from that. Above, contrivances prevent. Plants have specific adaptations or so-called contrivances for allogamy. Some of these contrivances for allogamy, that means cross-pollination, are dicliny. It's a condition where the plant produce unisexual flowers. If both male and female flowers are produced in the same plant, it is called monoecious, like cucurbita. If there are separate male and female plant, it is called dioecious, like papaya. Some plants like passiflora, pollens do not fertilize on the same flower stigma. This is called sterility. Hercogamy is the presence of physical barrier between male and female organs. In approach hercogamy, stigma is placed above the anthers. In reverse hercogamy, stigma is placed below the anther. Some plants produce two, that means dimorphic or even three trimorphic styles and anthers. This is called heterostyly, found in oxalis. In some plants, allow the foreign pollen to germinate faster than its own pollen. This is called prepotency and it is seen in Fabaceae. Dichogamy is the different maturation of male and female organs. In protandry, and andrecium matures earlier than gynoecium. In protogyny, gynoecium matures earlier than andrecium. So the answer for this question is option A. Declining, dichogamy, self-incompatibility, heterostyly. Or question number 15. Select the odd one with respect to the functional aspect of ecosystem. The interaction of biotic and abiotic components results in physical structure that is characteristic for each type of ecosystem. The important structural features include species composition, stratification. The functional components of the ecosystem are productivity, decomposition, energy flow, and nutrient cycling. So the answer for this question is option D. From the given statement, odd one with respect to the functional aspect of ecosystem is species composition. It is the identification and enumeration of animal and plant species of an ecosystem. Question number 16. Read the following statements and select the correct option that mentions observations shown by David Tillman, who performed a long-term ecosystem experiment using outdoor plots. According to David Tillman, long-term ecosystem experiments using outdoor plots provide some useful answers regarding species diversity. The greater the diversity of species, the greater is the productivity in the number of species and biomass. The higher productivity stands for the high stability of community and its species richness. He also suggested with his plots that more species showed less year-to-year variation in total biomass. So the answer for this question is option A. From the given 4 statements, A and C are the long-term ecosystem experiment using outdoor plots by David Tillman. A is plots with more species showed less year-to-year variation in total biomass. C is increased diversity contributed to higher productivity. So that statements are correct option. Question number 17. Urethral mitosis. Epidermis stores the sperms temporarily. Within the epidermis, the sperms mature and become capable of moving From the epidermis, they lead to vast difference that ascends to the abdomen and loop over the urinary bladder. It receives ducts from the seminal vesicle which opens into urethra as the ejaculatory duct. These ducts are responsible for storage and transport of sperms from the testis to the outside of the body through urethra. The urethra originates from the urinary bladder and extends through penis to its external opening called the urethral meatus, through which is the male urine and semen both exist from the body. So the answer is option A. The terminal opening of penis is called as urethral meatus. Question number 18. The cork cambium, cork and secondary cortex are collectively called. Secondary growth can be defined as a phenomenon where after the completion of primary tissue formation, more secondary tissues are developed to supplement dermal, vascular and mechanical tissue system. In certain plants, secondary growth is of two types based on region: stellar secondary growth and extrastellar secondary growth. In extrastellar region, cork cells, lenticels are produced towards the periphery by the activity of cork cambium. So the answer for this question is option C. The cork cambium, cork and secondary cortex are collectively called as periderm. Question number 19. Which among the following are the smallest living cells known as without definite cell wall, pathogenic to plants as well as animals and can survive without oxygen? The prokaryotic cell is represented by bacteria, blue-green algae, PPLO, pneumonia-like organisms, that is otherwise called as mycoplasma, is the smallest or simplest organism capable of autonomous growth and reproduction. It has a size of 0.1 microns. They are smallest living cells. So the answer for this question is option C, mycoplasma. Question number 20. Which of the following is not secreted by the kidney? The juxtaglomerular apparatus plays a complicated regulatory position. A fall in glomerular blood pressure, it is always called as GFR. The juxtaglomerular cells to secrete renin, leading to the conversion of angiotensinogen in the blood to angiotensin 1 and further to angiotensin 2. These conversions are carried out in the liver where the angiotensinogen is synthesized. The answer for this question is option B. Angiotensin 1 is not secreted by kidney, secreted by liver. Question number 21. The disease caused by accumulation of uric acid crystals outside the joints is called. Gout is caused due to excessive formation of uric acid or the inability to excrete it. It gets deposited in joints as monosodium salt. It is a type of arthritis disease. Severe pain attacks, redness, swelling and joints tenderness are patient symptoms. It is commonly observed in the big toe. So the answer is option A, gout. Question number 22. Adventitious roots absorb moisture from atmosphere in. Roots that grow from any part of the plant other than radical form adventitious roots. This is also known as false root. The hygroscopic root is a type of modified adventitious root that absorb moisture from environment with the help of specialized tissue called as velamen tissue. This tissue provides support, prevent water loss and assist water absorption. Answer is Vanda. Adventitious root absorb moisture that found in Vanda plant. Question number 23. Osteone is found in the Haversian system or osteone comprises Haversian canal, Haversian lamellae, canaliculi, osteocyte, and lacunae. The presence of the Haversian system is a typical feature of mammalian compact bones. Haversian canal, they are the longitudinal canals which are arranged parallel to the long axis of bone. In these canals, blood capillaries and nerve fibers are present. The Haversian canal are interconnected by Volkmann's canal. The matrix of bone is synthesized in the form of layer. These layers of matrix are called as lamellae. So the answer for this question is option D, femur of man and rabbit. Question number 24. Post-ganglionic nerve fibers of sympathetic system are mainly the subdivision of the PNS, peripheral neural system, is the autonomous neural system which regulate body activities that are generally not under conscious control. They innervate smooth muscles, cardiac muscles, and glands. ANS is further divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic, where sympathetic helps in mobilization and increasing metabolism. Sympathetic outflow, also called thoracolumbar outflow, and its all neuron are in the lateral horn of gray matter from T1 to L2. It leads to every part of the body. So the answer for this question is option A. Question number 25. Sporophyte of Funaria is. Funaria is mass which belongs to the class Bryopsida. It is erect gametophyte which is multicellular oblique rhizoids, stem-like erect structure bearing small leafy appendages. Gametophyte possesses distinct antheridia and archegonia. Sperms are biflagellated. Fusion of gametes result in the formation of diploid zygote. The embryo grows and forms a sporophyte with foot, seta, and capsule. The sporophyte is partially dependent on gametophyte. So the answer for this question is option B. Semi-parasite on gametophyte as it is green. 26. Cytokinins are formed in. Cytokinins are class of plant growth regulators which primarily promote cell division in plants. G. Haberlandt in 1913 first detected the presence of cell dividing substances in the cells of plants. Skoog and Miller in 1954 reported that autoclaved DNA from herring sperm stimulated the division of cells in tobacco pith cells. So the answer for this question is option A. Cytokinins are formed in roots. Question number 27. Plasmids are. Bacteria are ubiquitous prokaryotes. They occur anywhere and everywhere in water, air, and soil. And some species found on all living organisms except the pits of volcanoes, deep strata of rocks, tops of high mountains, and blood of healthy animals. Plasmid is a extra chromosomal circular DNA found in the cytoplasm of bacterial cell. So the answer for this question is option B. Question number 28. In an experimental setup, a group of C3 and a group of C4 plants were grown in an environment with double the amount of carbon dioxide concentration. Which group of plants would grow better and be more water efficient? Carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere is about 0.032% by volume, and it is really a low concentration which acts as a limiting factor in nature. If we double the concentration of the carbon dioxide in the laboratory condition, the rate of photosynthesis in C3 plants will decrease. On the contrary, C4 plants have developed a mechanism for concentrating the carbon dioxide in the chloroplast, and they have an enzyme phosphoenol pyruvate kinase, that is PEPKase, which has a very high affinity of carbon dioxide. This will help them to perform better in increased carbon dioxide concentration. So the answer is option B. C4 plants will be better than the plant C3. Question number 29. Fishes of Antarctic water prevent their body fluids from freezing by. In Antarctic fish, body fluid contains antifreeze solutes. These proteins bind to ice crystals, inhibiting the freezing of body fluids. Protein is present in the blood plasma of fish. These proteins lower the freezing point. The antifreeze proteins are the group of unique glycoproteins that helps some polar and subpolar bony fishes to prevent their blood plasma to freeze. So the answer for this question is option C, a presence of antifreeze protein. Question number 30. The mineral element in chlorophyll and hemoglobin is respectively. A chlorophyll molecule contains magnesium and the hemoglobin contain Fe. So the answer for this question is option C, magnesium and Fe, ferric. Question number 31. Which is true for partial pressure of carbon dioxide? The partial pressure of carbon dioxide is greater in the alveolar air as compared to the exhaled air. The partial pressure is primarily responsible for the exchange of gases occurring in lungs. It is defined as the pressure contributed by the individual gas in the mixture of gases. It depends on the existing concentration of gases. So the answer for this question is option B, more in alveolar air than in expired air. That is true about partial pressure of carbon dioxide. Question number 32. Which of the following statement is wrong? Lipids are not strictly macromolecules. Yes, that is a correct statement. Low density lipoproteins reduce the risk of heart diseases. So that is a wrong statement. During the chemical analysis of tissues using trichloroacetic acid method, lipids were found in the acid insoluble pool. Molecules with the molecular weight lesser than 800 Dalton in the acid soluble pool and are called biomicromolecules. Those in the acid insoluble pool with molecular weight higher than 800 Dalton are referred to as biomacromolecules. The saturated fatty acids increase the low density lipoprotein cholesterol, and lower high density lipoprotein is good for health, while low density lipoprotein is bad cholesterol because LDL increases the risk of cardiovascular disease or heart diseases. So the answer for this question is option B. LDL reduce the risk of heart diseases given. That is a wrong statement. Question number 33. The reductional division involves. Meiosis is the reductional division in which the chromosomes are paired first with each other. Homologous chromosome pairing, which is followed by the reduction in the number of chromosomes to half. The meiosis is a type of cell division in which homologous chromosomes separate after the exchange of fragments. As a result of meiosis, 4 haploid cells are produced, which are all genetically different from each other. This extent of variation is due to the process of crossing over or exchange of segments between homologous chromosomes. So the answer for this question is option D. The reductional division involves none of the above. Question number 34. In which of the following the fecus are retained within the colon as the bowel movements occur irregularly. Constipation is a disorder in which there is the retention of metabolic waste in the colon. The bowel movement occur irregularly and the consistency of stool also become problematic. The causes could be eating food low in fiber or other structural or functional disorders of the gut. So the answer is option B, constipation. Question number 35. Larvae of echinoderms are the members of phylum Echinodermata are spiny-bodied sea creatures which possess an endoskeleton composed of calcareous ossicles. The adult form are radially symmetrical while the larvae are bilaterally symmetrical. So the answer is option C. Larvae of echinoderms are bilaterally symmetrical. Question number 36. The sodium pump stops operating during. The sodium pump is mechanism by which sodium ion travel across the cell membrane. Action potential takes place when different ion pass and cross the neuronal membrane. A stimulus is required to open the sodium channels. Due to the absence of sodium ions on the inside of the membrane, the inner surface is negatively charged. So the answer for this question is option B. Sodium pump stops operating. Action potential. Question number 37. The rapid movement of glucose into hepatocytes and adipocytes is due to. It is the earliest known hormone. It is also called hypoglycemic or anti-diabetic factor as it decreases the glucose level in blood and prevents the occurrence of diabetes. It is secreted by beta cells of the islets of Langerhans. Secretion of insulin is stimulated by higher glucose level in blood than the normal level. Insulin acts on the three target tissues: hepatocytes of livers, muscles, and adipocytes of adipose tissue. So the answer is option C, insulin. Question number 38. The respiratory quotient of anaerobic respiration is. Respiratory quotient is the ratio of volume of carbon dioxide released to the volume of oxygen taken in respiration, and it is mathematically expressed as the volume of carbon dioxide evolved by the volume of oxygen consumed. A respiratory quotient for anaerobic respiration is infinite as of without consuming oxygen, carbon dioxide given out. Question number 39. The rapid and wild spasm of muscles due to low calcium levels in body fluid causes. Calcium is one of the main constituent in human body. It aids in the proper functioning of various organs, muscles and nerves. Calcium ions are essential for several major metabolisms of the body, including bone formation. Low calcium level is known as hypocalcemia, that is characterized by absence of symptoms, tiredness and muscle spasm. Low calcium in the body fluids lead to rapid involuntary and wild spasm of muscles takes place. So the answer for this question is option A, tetany. Question number 40. The hereditary characters are due to. The phenomena of hereditary, which is also known as inheritance or biological inheritance, is the passing of traits from parents to the offspring, either through sexual reproduction or asexual reproduction. The offspring cells or organisms acquire the genetic information of their parents. Gene is the sequence of DNA that carries information from parents to offspring. So the answer is option B, gene. Question number 41. Connecting link between human and ape is Australopithecus is connecting link between ape and human. Their brain capacity ranged from 450 to 600 cc, slightly larger than that of modern adult chimpanzee. Thus, Australopithecus represented man with an ape brain. Australopithecus were frugivores and lived in grassland 2 million years ago. So the answer is option B, Australopithecus. Question number 43. Most common cancer affecting men in India is mouth cancer, also known as oral cancer, is referred to any cancerous growth of the tissue located in the buccal cavity. So the answer for this question is option C. Mouth throat cancer is most common cancer affecting men in India. Question number 44. The food material in eggs albuminous seed is mainly stored in non-endospermic seed or eggs albuminous or seeds in which endosperm is utilized completely. Due to the complete utilization of endosperm, two cotyledons are formed in these seeds which stores the nutrients for the development of embryo. So the answer is option D, embryo. The food material in eggs albuminous seed is mainly stored in embryo. Question number 45. Placenta in mammals is formed from. During pregnancy is established approximately 1 week after fertilization. The blastocyst embeds itself in the thickened wall of the uterus through a process called implantation. Chorion and basalis. Answer for this question. Placenta in mammals formed from chorion and Deciduous basalis. Question number 46. Two kingdoms figuring in all biological classification are. In the past, all organisms are divided into two groups, plants and animals. This was also done by Linnaeus. So the answer for this question is option D. Plantae and Animalia are the two kingdoms. Question number 47. The aerial stem modification found in Bougainvillea. Aerial modification of the stem includes tendrils, hooks, thorns, and spines. Tendrils are thread-like sensitive structures that can coil around the support and help the plant with weak stems to climb as a gourds and gray points. Spines are modified leaf or leaf pods as opuntia. Hooks are modifications observed in bignonia for hanging and attachment. So the answer for this question is option B. Aerial stem modification found in Bougainvillea is thorn. Number 49. Each thoracic segment of Periplaneta americana is enclosed by four chitinous skeletal sclerites, a dorsal tergum and a ventral sternum and two lateral pleura. The tergum of the prothorax is also called as pronotum, which covers the neck and part of the head. So the answer for this question is option A, the blanks. Number 50. Cercinate taxis, that means venation, in ferns is defined as. Pteridophytes, a diverse group of plants, have evolved more than Bryophyta in the following aspects: development of free-living sporophytic generation, development of vascular tissues, acquiring total terrestrial habitat. Some species like Selaginella development of two types of spores, reducing gametophytic phase in smaller independent prothallus. The rhizomatous stem of pteridophytes have two types. So the answer for this question is option B, coiling of young leaves. That is question number 51. From the following statements, polymorphism and choose the correct option. See the statement A, it arises due to mutation. Yes, it is a correct option. See the B, it represent variation at genetic level. So that also correctly given. It does not play any role in evolution and speciation. So that is the incorrect statement. So about polymorphism, A and B are correctly given. Polymorphism refers to variety of size, shape and structure of object. Concerning DNA sequences, it shows variation at the nucleotide level. So the answer for this question is option C. A and B are correct statements about polymorphism. Question number 52. Which of the following hormones can alleviate vernalization? Gibberellin is one of the hormone can alleviate vernalization. Some plants like beet, wheat, etc. require treatment of low temperature besides photoperiodism. So the answer is option C. Gibberellin, the hormone, can alleviate vernalization. Question number 53. Find the boxes labeled A, B and C about honeybee. In the given diagrammatic representation, A represented as meiosis. In female B, during gametogenesis, meiosis cell division takes place. As the result, the actual number of chromosomes are reduced into half. B represented as female, C represented as male. So the correctly matching option is C. Question number 54. From the following statement, choose the correct option. See the statements. Statement A. According to Gauss competitive exclusion principle, two closely related species competing for same resources can coexist indefinitely. So that is a wrong statement. The statement B. Majority of parasites reduce the survival, growth and reproduction of host and reduce its population density. So that is the correct statement. So the answer for this question is option B. Only B is correct. According to Gauss exclusion principle, two closely related species competing for the same resources cannot coexist indefinitely and the competitively inferior one will be eventually eliminated. Question number 55. Choose the correct statement among the following. See the statement A. Flavor sour variety of tomato remains fresh for longer period due to higher amount of enzyme polygalactronose than normal tomato variety. Polygalactronose enzyme is responsible for degradation of pectin in the cell wall of fruit, making it susceptible to fungal infections. In flavor sour tomato, low amount of this enzyme is produced as its gene is blocked. So that is the wrong statement. B. See the statement B. RNA interference involves interference of RNA in synthesis of DNA. That also wrong statement. RNA interference takes place in all the eukaryotic organism as a method of cellular defense. RNA interference is a gene silencing method where the mRNA of the parasite is not able to express due to the presence of complementary RNA. So there is no protein formation. So that also wrong statement. C. Golden rice developed through transgenic approach as high lysine content than normal rice. Genetically modified, that is GM food, may cause toxicity or produce allergies. Golden rice is genetically modified crop which synthesizes beta carotene, a precursor for vitamin A. A variety having high content of lysine is found in biofortified maize. So C also wrongly given. D. Transgenic food may cause toxicity and allergy in human beings, and the bacteria present in alimentary canal may become resistant to antibiotics by taking up the antibiotic resistant gene that is present in the genetically modified food. So that is a correct statement. So the answer for this question is option D. Among the given four statement, option D is correctly given. Question number 56. The continuous system of cell walls and intracellular spaces in plant tissue is: water absorption in plants occurs through root system. The responsibility of water absorption and mineral is more specifically the function of root hairs that are present in millions at the root tips. Water is absorbed along the mineral solutes. Apoplast pathway, the movement of water occurring through the cell wall without crossing any membrane. In simplest pathway, movement of water occur from cell to cell through plasmodesmata. So the answer is option B, apoplast. Question number 57. All the following statements are correct with respect to biogas plant except. See the statement A. It has a floating cover that keeps on rising as gas is produced. Biogas, mixture of gases containing predominantly methane produced by microbial activity and which may be used as fuel. The major components of biogas are methane and 50 to 70%, which is highly inflammable. Other gases are carbon dioxide 30 to 40%, and mixture of other gases hydrogen, hydrogen sulfide, etc. 10%. So the answer for this question is option D. The main gases produced as methane, carbon monoxide and nitrogen oxide. The wrong one. The remaining three statements are correctly given except option D. The remaining statements are correct. Question number 58. The breakdown of proton gradient across the thylakoid membrane is due to: in chloroplast, the generation of proton gradient across the thylakoid membrane is coupled with ATP synthesis. This coupling of ATP synthesis with the development of proton gradient is done by a British biochemist Peter Mitchell in 1961. So the answer for this question is option C. Diffusion of proton through transmembrane channel. Question number 59. Farmers can keep on using the hybrid seed to raise new crop year after year, and they do not have to buy hybrid seeds every year if the hybrid is made. Apomictic seeds are those which are formed without undergoing the process of sexual reproduction. So the answer is option A, apomictic. Question number 60. The secondary tissue of a plant. Secondary tissue in plants are responsible for secondary growth, which is increase in diameter of plant. Secondary growth results from lateral meristems. So the answer is option B. Secondary tissue of plant add diameter to roots and shoots. Question number 61. In Krebs cycle, which intermediate is withdrawn for synthesis of chlorophyll? Krebs cycle act as catabolic process for the breakdown of glucose, protein and fat. It also act as an anabolic process as various intermediate products in Krebs cycle are used as precursors for biosynthesis of amino acids, chlorophyll, cytochrome, etc. Acetyl-CoA is a precursor for biosynthesis of carotenoids, terpenes, gibberellins, etc. Succinyl-CoA is precursor for biosynthesis of chlorophyll and cytochrome. Oxaloacetic acid is precursor for alkaloids and pyrimidines. Alpha-ketoglutarate acid precursor for amino acid synthesis. Since Krebs cycle is catabolic as well as anabolic process, it is called the ampibolic process. So the answer is option A, succinyl-CoA. Question number 62. Identify the incorrect statement. Genital herpes is caused due to infection of herpes simplex virus. Symptoms include vesicular lesions followed by clusters, painful erythematous ulcers over external genitalia and perianal regions. In females, the symptoms are more severe, which includes fever, headache, pain, itching, vaginal and urethral discharge with tender inguinal lymphadenopathy. Infections can occur in the urethra and cervix. It is an incurable disease. So the answer for this question is option D. Genital herpes can be treated by antibiotics. That is an incorrect statement. Question number 63. Which among the following papilionaceous plant have spirally coiled pods? Family Papilionaceae, popularly known as family Fabaceae or Leguminaceae, is one of the largest angiosperm family. It features a large number of plants that are known for their economic value. The economic importance ranges from food crops to invasive species. So the answer for this question is option B, Medicago. Among which is among the following papilionaceous plant have spirally coiled parts? Example, Medicago. Question number 64. Breakdown of hemoglobin occurs in. The breakdown of hemoglobin takes place in liver. So the answer for this question is option A. The average lifespan of RBC containing hemoglobin is 120 days. After that, RBC are destroyed in the spleen and hemoglobin is also degraded in the liver into its constituents. Question number 65. The mineralization by microorganism is an aid in the release of. The mineralization by microorganism is aid in the release of inorganic nutrients from humus. So the answer for this question is option A. Decomposition is a process in which the physical and chemical breakdown of complex organic matter will take place with the help of decomposers. Question number 66. Size of prion is. The prion size is same as virus. So the answer for this question is option B, similar to virus. Question number 67. A woman has O blood group. She has two brothers, one with A group and the other with B group. The genotype of her parents are. A woman with blood group O should have genotype III. Both of her parents should at least have one I allele. So for having a child with blood group B, there should be at least one parent having a copy of I power B allele. So the answer for this question is option B. I power A, I power O, I power B, I power O. Question number 68. The cretinism in baby could be the result of mother having iodine deficiency. So cretinism in baby could be the result of mother having iodine deficiency in diet. So the answer is option B. Question number 69. The basic unit of DNA molecule is. The basic unit of DNA molecule is DNA, deoxyribose nucleotide. So the answer for this question is option B, deoxyribose nucleotide. Question number 70. The given graph represent the interplay of different hormones A to D during the menstrual cycle in human and answer the question that follow. This question is option D. The given graph A, B, C, D represent estrogen, follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, and progesterone respectively. The hormone FSH and LH are secreted from anterior pituitary in females. Follicle stimulating hormone induces the development and growth of ovarian follicle. Luteinizing hormone induces ovulation. So the answer for this question is option D. Question number 71. DNA duplication occurs in the sequence of events by which a cell duplicates its genome, synthesis of other constituents of the cell, and eventually divides into two daughter cells is termed as cell cycle. During S phase, synthesis, that means during this phase, DNA replication takes place. The amount of DNA becomes double during this phase. So the answer is option S, synthetic phase. Question number 72. The Indian ornithologist known as Birdman of India was. Some of the general characteristics of class A's, they are genuinely flying vertebrate having feathered bipeds. See here, some of the scientist names are given. Dr. Salim Mausuddin Abdul Ali was an Indian ornithologist and naturalist who worked for the conservation of endangered birds like the great Indian bustard by using his influence to gather the support of government for the organization and created the Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary. It is service called as Kaladio National Park. So the answer is option C, Dr. Salim Ali. Question number 73. From the diagram is given below, identify the leaf. The given diagrammatic representation cannabinous sativa. The leaf diagram is cannabis sativa. Its leaves are compound with multiple leaflets as opposed to simple where a single leaf grows from the stem. So the answer is option C, cannabis sativa. Question number 74. Here there are 4 matches are given. From 4 matches, how many matches are correctly given? See the first one, salvia, didynamous stamen is given. Yes, that is correct. China rose, monodalpous stamen, that also correct. Citrus, polyadalpous stamen, that also correctly given. Candytuft, umbel type of inflorescence is given, that is wrong. In candy type, inflorescence is seen. So fourth one is wrongly matched. So out of 4 matches, first 3 correctly given. So the correct option for this question is option A. Question number 75. The excessive stimulation of vagus nerve in human may cause. Nerves that either arise from or terminate in the brain are called as cranial nerves. There are 12 pairs of cranial nerves in human being. The excessive stimulation of the vagus nerve in human may cause peptic ulcer. So the answer for this question is option B. Question number 76. The athletes have lower heartbeat than others because of the athletes perform strenuous physical activities which result in an increased demand for nutrients, oxygen, and electrolytes in their body for the cells to perform efficiently. This increased demand is sympathetic overdrive in their body, which results in an increased heart rate, increased respiratory rate, increased cardiac output. So the answer for this question is option B. Athletes have lower heartbeat rate than others because of highest stroke volume? Question number 77. From the following, which hormone does not bind with extracellular receptor protein to stimulate hormone action? Answer is option D, testosterone. All the hormones synthesized and secreted by adrenal cortex and the gonads are derived from cholesterol, steroid derivatives. Other hormones generally are either peptide or amine or iodine derivatives. The steroid hormones can pass through the plasma membrane as they are fat soluble, but the peptide derivative hormone, being fat insoluble, cannot do so. Hence, they are required to bind with the membrane receptors and in turn they produce a secondary messenger inside the cell, and this is how they work. So the answer is option D. Question number 78. The 70S type of ribosomes are found in. The 70S type of ribosomes found in prokaryotic cells. Even eukaryotic cells, chloroplast and mitochondria contain 70S type of ribosomes. Mitochondria also contain 70S type of ribosomes. So the answer for this question is option D, all of these. Question number 79. Which one of the following statement is wrong? So here there are four statements are given. Obelia is member of phylum Nidaria, which is one of the most primitive animal phyla. It includes aquatic organisms such as jellyfish, sea anemones, hydras and corals, mainly marine, although few such as the well-known hydra are freshwater species. It has two germ layers, ectoderm and endoderm. Ectoderm made out of covering of animals and the endoderm lines the gut. So the answer is option C. Fasciola is a pseudocoelomate animal is given. So here out of four statements, the statement C is wrong. Question number 80. What criticism of Darwinism not based on? Criticism of Darwinism. The development of vestigial organisms not explained by Darwinism. This theory does not explain the origin, reason, and inheritance of variation. Criticism of Darwinism was based on sexual selection. Darwin was unable to differentiate germinal and somatic variation. The theory was unable to explain the over specialization of some organs like tusk of elephants, antlers of deer. This theory only explains the survival of fittest but unable to explain the arrival of fittest. The main drawback of Darwinism, absence of knowledge of heredity. So the answer is option A, survival of the fittest. Question number 81. Why does small animals lose their body heat very fast as compared to big animals? Because the surface area of small animal is larger relative to their volume. Conformers had not evolved mechanisms of homeostasis as it is expansive energetically. The surface area of an organism plays a very important role to determine heat loss or gain by the body. So the answer is option D. Question number 82. What was the name of the book in which Linnaeus first proposed his classification? Linnaeus first proposed his system of classification based on the number of stamens and pistils in the book Species Plantarum and introduced the Linnaean taxonomy. So the answer is option D, Species Plantarum. Question number 83. Who conducted the experimental verification of the Chromosomal theory of inheritance. The chromosomal theory of inheritance was independently given by Sutton and Bovary in the year of 1902. The two workers found a close similarity between the transmission of hereditary traits and behavior of chromosomes while passing from generation to next generation, the agency of gametes. The answer for this question is option B. T.H. Morgan conducted the experimental verification of the chromosomal theory of inheritance. Question number 84. Name the leafy vegetable which has acrocious stipules from the following. A linear modified leaf appendage that usually occurs in pairs is called as stipule. They are located just below or sometimes attached to base of the petiole of leaf. They rarely occur in monocots and usually found in dicots. In osseous type, a single stipule appears to be solid tube that goes all the way around the stem as seen in leafy vegetable like rumex. So the answer is option D. Question number 85. From the following options, name the mastigoporan with pseudopodia. Mastic amoeba is a genus which belongs to Orchamoeba group of kingdom Protista. They are characterized as amoeboid flagellates with a clear hyaline cytoplasm. Mastic amoeba are polymorphic as they can exist amoeboid flagellates, A flagellate, amoeba multinucleate amoeba, and as cyst they also possesses pseudopodia and a flagellum. The singular flagellum is consists of 9 plus 2 microtubule structure. So the answer is option C. Mastic amoeba. Name mastigoporan with pseudopodia is mastic amoeba. Question number 86. At present about 30 recombinant therapeutics have been approved for human use the world over and 12 of these are presently marketed in India. So the answer is option B. Question number 88. What is the exception to nucleosome? A nucleosome is the fundamental unit of chromatin, histone octamer, and DNA gives nucleosome, chromatin, chromatin fiber, chromosome. Histone octamer, it is made up of 8 molecules of histone proteins. Histone proteins are positively charged. Nucleosome, DNA, negatively charged, that is DNA wraps around the positively charged histone octamer. Around 200 base pairs are present in DNA. So the answer is option C. H1 protein is the nucleosome, contain histone octamer, lysine and arginine rich protein. It is made up of 200 base pairs. H1 proteins are absent. Question number 89. Which of the following cell carries membrane-bound cell organelles? Eukaryotic cells contain well-defined nucleus and membrane-bound cell organelles. Cell organelles like mitochondria, Golgi complex, endoplasmic reticulum and lysosomes etc. are present only in eukaryotes. So the answer is option D, eukaryotic cell. Question number 90. This is the last question. The number of common features for mitochondria, chloroplast and Golgi apparatus from the list given below are membrane bound, yes. Mitochondria, chloroplast and Golgi apparatus are membrane bound cell organelles. They contain 70s type of ribosomes given. They contain enzymes. The duplication of G2 base proteins, assimilation. From that, there are 4 statements are correctly given. Yes, membrane bound cell organelles duplicated during G2 phase. Proteins are present. Assimilation process takes place. So membrane bound, duplication in G2 phase, proteins and assimilation. So there are four futures are correct about mitochondria, chloroplast and Golgi apparatus. So the correct option is B. Thank you very much for listening our videos. Those who are watching our videos, you are requested to like, subscribe and share to your friends. All the best.